But look at how long. 5-time, 7-time All-Star. She been in the league 7 years? Bro, how come ain't nobody know about Asia Wilson until Caitlin got here? I'm just saying. If Asia Wilson was this damn good, this dynamic of a player, why come the viewership is the way it is? Now, why come we didn't know about Asia Wilson 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
Asia Wilson is furious. The EuroLeague just dropped a bombshell report claiming Caitlin Clark is worth 10 times more than any other WNBA player, and it's got the basketball world spinning. Sponsors overseas are calling Clark a billion-dollar engine for women's hoops, while the league's own MVP is left wondering how she got pushed to the sidelines. Clark's value isn't just shocking, it's humiliating for everyone who thought the WNBA was the top of the mountain.
People comparing Asia Wilson to Bill Russell, and bro, if the Indiana Fever had Caitlin Clark, hell, not even Caitlin, had Kelsey Mitchell not got hurt, I believe the Indiana Fever would have beaten the Las Vegas Aces. Tell the whole story. Like, don't get up here trying to sit up here like this is a dynasty of a damn team and all this and that because they went on their little winning streak. I don't want to hear none of that shit. If the Fever was the Fever originally, the Las Vegas Aces would not have a championship. They stole this one. This is the last one they're going to get for a mighty long time.
But how did a rookie from Iowa turn into a global cash machine? And why did it make Asia Wilson snap? The EuroLeague report didn't just compare salaries, it compared power. And when the numbers came out, it exposed a massive truth that the WNBA has been trying to hide for months. Caitlin Clark isn't just the most valuable rookie, she's the entire brand. While Asia Wilson dominates the court, Caitlin Clark dominates the world. Her name alone moves millions. Jersey sales, sponsorships, ticket prices, everything connected to Clark turns into money.
TV ratings are up 300% since Caitlin Clark entered the league. Her games averaged 1.2 million viewers. Her return game peaked at 2.8 million viewers on ABC, one of the highest ever. This is in the middle of a random game in the season. She's featured nearly half of the most watched WNBA games, period. And I would argue that she brought a lot of attention to the league in and of itself, not just her. Clark is responsible for 26% of all WNBA economic activity. She's expected to help drive $875 million to $1 billion in 2025 revenue. The Fever's franchise value jumped from $900 million to $340 million. Oh my God, they need to pay this girl.
The report said her EuroLeague market value could exceed $10 million a year, with global brands lining up to attach their logos to her name. And that's when Asia Wilson lost it. Because here's the thing, Asia's not just any player. She's the reigning MVP, a champion, a defensive monster, and one of the faces that built the modern WNBA. She's worked for years to earn respect.
This dynamic of a player, why come the viewership is the way it is? Now, why come we didn't know about Asia Wilson 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago? Why come we ain't know about her then? Why we ain't know about Asia Wilson then, bro? I don't want to hear none of that. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, wouldn't nobody care about Asia Wilson, bro? Wouldn't nobody care, bro?
Yet somehow, a rookie came in, played one season, and suddenly became the league's financial messiah. The timing couldn't have been worse. Nike had already signed Caitlin to that record-breaking $28 million deal, the biggest endorsement in women's basketball history. But what happened after? Nothing. No commercials, no merch drop, no signature shoe, just silence. And that silence turned into noise. People started to ask, what's going on? Why would Nike give Clark that kind of money and then completely ghost her? Rumors started flying. Some said Nike was terrified, scared of backlash if they gave a white rookie her own shoe before Asia Wilson, their longtime athlete and reigning MVP. That's when Asia posted her infamous line, not directly aimed at Clark, but everyone knew what she meant. She basically said, what's delayed isn't denied. Translation, she was tired of being overlooked. And that one post lit social media on fire. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. Half the internet said Clark's popularity was good for the game. The other half said it was corporate favoritism, a reflection of who the media chooses to hype. But underneath the drama, there was a deeper issue nobody wanted to say out loud: race, marketability, and what sells in women's sports. Commentators started revisiting old history. How Nike once gave Sheryl Swoops the first ever women's signature shoe back in the 90s, a huge step for representation. But since then, nearly every woman to get her own line had been white. So when Nike crowned Clark before honoring Asia, it didn't feel like progress. It felt like deja vu. Then came the twist. Leaked reports claimed Nike was delaying Clark's signature shoe until 2026. The reason? Optics. They supposedly didn't want to anger fans by putting Clark's line out before Wilson's. That rumor hit like a bomb, because if it was true, it meant Nike had created a mess so big they were paralyzed, caught between two of their own stars. Meanwhile, the EuroLeague didn't care about optics. They saw dollar signs. Clark's international fame was exploding. Her highlights were trending in Europe. Her name was selling out arenas across the US, and fans overseas were literally begging their teams to sign her for the offseason. And that's when Asia's frustration hit its breaking point. She'd just led her team to another dominant season, but the world only wanted to talk about Caitlin Clark. Every headline, every debate show, every sponsorship conversation came back to her. Asia's fans started pushing back, saying she deserved the same treatment. They argued she is the WNBA's foundation, not the rookie. That she's earned her place through sweat and championships, not media hype. But that argument didn't change the numbers. Caitlin Clark was pulling in more global attention than the entire league combined. The EuroLeague report confirmed it. Her sponsorship reach, her fan engagement, and her ability to sell tickets dwarfed everyone else. That's why this story blew up. Because it wasn't just about two players. It was about what defines value in sports: proven dominance or commercial impact. And while A'ja Wilson saw a rookie skipping the line, the world saw something else: the first true global superstar of women's basketball. Then everything flipped overnight. After months of silence and speculation, Nike finally broke the tension, announcing that A'ja Wilson would be getting her own signature shoe, the A1, set for release in 2025. Fans went wild, but then came the twist that nobody saw coming. A'ja had known about the deal for 2 years. She'd been under a non-disclosure agreement the whole time. So while fans were out here fighting her battles on social media, defending her against Nike, and calling for justice, A'ja already knew she had her own shoe in the works. That revelation changed everything. It meant the feud, the jealousy, the outrage, all of it had been amplified by rumor and timing. Nike wasn't ignoring her. They were playing the long game. But by then, it didn't matter. The world had already decided whose story they cared about: Caitlin Clark's. Because while Nike was quietly handling contracts, Clark was actively rewriting history. She wasn't just selling jerseys. She was selling out entire NBA arenas. Every game she touched turned into a national event. Broadcasters couldn't stop talking about her. Overseas leagues started calling, and the EuroLeague, the same one that called her a $10 million player, is reportedly ready to make a move to bring her across the ocean. So when A'ja's shoe deal finally became public, it didn't land like a victory. It felt like a consolation prize. Because no matter what Nike or the WNBA did next, the narrative was already set. Caitlin Clark isn't chasing anyone. The world is chasing her. And that's the part that stings. Because for A'ja, this was never about money. It was about respect. She'd built her career.
And it looked like the WNBA has become the laughingstock of all sports, man, because the ticket prices are horrendous. This is a championship game, dog. The Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. And I'm telling you right now, this is probably going to be one of the lowest rated WNBA finals in a mighty long time.
After Game 2 of the WNBA Finals, A'ja Wilson just had a full-on meltdown, and somehow she's blaming Caitlin Clark for it.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we choose to deceive. When are numbers not what the numbers are when you see them? Oh, sure feels like there might be some funny business going on. Is there a little nasty work going on behind the scenes? A little abracadabra bewitched action? Stephanie White knows this one. Yeah, she's conjuring up ratings for the Aces and the Mercury.
The finals are falling apart, tickets are dirt cheap, and fans are walking away in disbelief. But what really caused the collapse that's humiliating the WNBA? How did the league go from record-breaking hype to $6 finals tickets and empty seats? And why is Wilson pointing the finger at Clark instead of looking in the mirror?
Now, we know the controversy that led up to this game is pretty much attached to Caitlin's name. That is the Las Vegas Aces actually knocking off Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Well, Caitlin did not play, but we know the referees kind of had a hand in that, we should say, with kind of making sure the Las Vegas Aces was pushed to making it to the finals.
The truth is, this isn't just about one player losing her cool. It's a reflection of a league that's been lying to itself all season long. For months, the WNBA bragged about record-breaking viewership, historic growth, and a new era of women's basketball. But now that the spotlight's off Caitlin Clark, all that momentum has vanished. The WNBA Finals, supposedly the biggest event of the year, have turned into an embarrassment. The Las Vegas Aces home arena, a place that once packed in thousands for regular season games, couldn't even sell out for the finals. 2 straight games, half-empty stands, and ticket prices that looked more like fast food deals than championship seats.
It is officially Game 3 of the WNBA Finals, and news has broke that you can get into the game for tickets as low as $10. Yeah, no. Your speakers on your laptop or your phone are working perfectly fine. You heard me loud and clear. You can get into Game 3 of the WNBA Finals for $10. This is craziness. It costs more than an In-N-Out cheeseburger with an animal fry and a small lemonade. This is wild. The WNBA is being accused of posting fake ratings for Game 1. This is madness, y'all.
You could literally grab a finals ticket for $25, maybe even $6 if you didn't mind the upper level. Parking at some concerts costs more than that. Caitlin Clark's Nike t-shirt costs more than that. It's almost unbelievable. The same league that flooded headlines with record attendance and unprecedented fan engagement is now facing its lowest turnout in years. And A'ja Wilson's response? She's frustrated, embarrassed, and apparently blaming Clark and her fan base for the lack of energy. But that's where this story gets twisted, because the people Wilson is pointing fingers at are the same ones who built the WNBA's most successful season in history. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, everything changed. Ticket sales skyrocketed. Merch sold out overnight. Opposing teams suddenly had sold-out arenas for the first time in years. ESPN couldn't get enough of her. The WNBA was finally in the national conversation. And yet, instead of embracing her, the league and many players acted like she was an outsider, an invader in their territory. The jealousy, the fouls, the constant digs on social media, and the commissioner's silence through it all. Fans noticed. They felt it. So now that the finals have arrived and Clark's not there, the energy's gone, the excitement's gone, the seats are empty, and the fans who once filled arenas have tuned out completely. That's not on Caitlin Clark. That's on the league that refused to protect and celebrate its biggest star. Even the broadcast can't hide it. You can see rows of empty seats behind the commentators. You can hear the awkward silence between plays. The finals feel less like a championship showdown and more like a scrimmage at a high school gym. And for a league that spent all season screaming about growth, that's a brutal reality check. It's not like the numbers are hiding. Earlier this year, when Clark's Indiana Fever played the Aces, those exact same seats went for hundreds, even thousands of dollars courtside. Now, in the finals, those same spots are going for under $500, and even then, they're struggling to sell. Fans on social media are roasting the league, posting screenshots of ticket maps covered in empty blue dots.
This was posted here on Legion Hoops. You can watch Game 3 of the WNBA Finals for just $10 tonight. That's cheaper than ESPN's subscription to stream the game at home. You could spend more. You spend more money streaming the game at home than you do going and actually seeing it in person. This is wild. This is wild.
One viral comment said, "You can buy a finals ticket for the price of a Big Mac combo." Another joked, "The silence in the arena is louder than the ref's whistle." It's comedy, but it's also tragedy, because deep down, everyone knows why it's happening. The so-called growth of the WNBA wasn't organic. It wasn't because of new marketing or better storytelling. It was the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. She was the reason casual fans tuned in, the reason sponsors cared, and the reason the league mattered again. She brought the spark that every sport needs, a generational star with crossover appeal. And instead of protecting her, the league treated her like a problem to contain. And that's the real reason this finals feels so lifeless. It's not about Vegas fans or ticket prices. It's about a league that alienated the very audience that made it relevant. You can't spend months mocking Clark's supporters and then expect them to show up for a finals she's not even playing in. Fans don't forget. They saw her get targeted game after game. They saw her get knocked down with no foul calls. They saw veteran players mock her competitiveness instead of respecting it. Meanwhile, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is still out here smiling through press conferences, claiming this is the strongest position the league's ever been in. Really? Because if that's true, why does it cost less to watch your championship than it does to bowl 3 games at the MGM Grand? The optics are humiliating. Even players are starting to speak up. Names like Sophie Cunningham and Nafisa Collier have hinted at the disconnect between the locker room and leadership. The system is broken, and Asia Wilson's meltdown isn't just a personal moment of frustration. It's the symptom of something much deeper, a league that refuses to face its own failures. The WNBA thought the Caitlin Clark wave would last forever. They thought her momentum would carry through the postseason, even without her. But fans don't stick around for hype. They stick around for connection. And the league severed that connection the moment it decided Clark was too polarizing, too privileged, or too different to represent them. Now, they're paying for it. And that brings us back to Wilson. She's the reigning MVP, one of the most dominant players in the world, but her finals are being overshadowed by a crisis her own league created. Instead of celebrating her team's wins, she's defending a product that's collapsing under its own spin. Fans don't care about press releases. They care about authenticity. And right now, the only thing that feels real is Caitlin Clark, even when she's not playing. So here's the brutal truth. The WNBA built its season on Clark's back, then pushed her to the sidelines. Now the whole thing is falling apart. You can't demand bigger TV deals and higher salaries when your finals look like a clearance sale. You can't brag about growth when fans are staying home. What's happening right now isn't just bad optics. It's a warning. Fans came for Caitlin Clark, not for corporate slogans. They came for energy, not excuses. They came for passion, not politics. And until the WNBA starts listening, this so-called new era is going to collapse faster than those ticket prices. The finals were supposed to be the league's moment to shine, proof that women's basketball had arrived. Instead, it's proof of how fragile that success really is. The excitement, the noise, the movement, all of it depended on one player. And now that she's gone, the lights are dimming. So maybe A'ja Wilson should stop blaming Caitlin Clark and start asking what happens to the WNBA when she's the only one left to blame. If you're still watching, drop Team Clark in the comments.
Well, lads, this was a huge announcement by Unrivaled, and this is something that is very interesting because this kind of changed things. So Unrivaled, for me, they have announced a lot of players that are playing in Unrivaled this year, and Angel Reese is another player who is not currently on the Unrivaled list.
Angel Reese just got fired, and no one's shocked. After months of chaos, controversy, and missed games, the Unrivaled League has finally pulled the plug on one of women's basketball's loudest stars.
Lads, Hailey Van Lith said she's playing Unrivaled. I'm just putting it out there. HVL said she's playing in Unrivaled. And obviously Sabrina's not there. But like, neither is Angel Reese. Angel Reese has not currently been announced for Unrivaled. Which is huge, because let's be real, Angel Reese is the biggest draw in Unrivaled.
The league that once called her its crown jewel has gone radio silent. No post, no statement, just one thing missing, her name. And that silence, it says everything. Because when Unrivaled dropped its new season roster, fans noticed instantly, Angel Reese was gone. No mention, no tribute, not even a subtle thanks for the memories. So what really happened behind the scenes? Was this a quiet breakup dressed up as a business decision? Or did the league finally get tired of the drama it once promoted?
It's looking spooky. Angel Reese got suspended. Angel Reese threw her team under the bus. When the hell did this happen, bro? I take a few hours off, go have some dinner, chill, live my life like a regular, real American. And I'm telling you right now, boy, all hell done broke loose. Now, I'm going to try to track this thing as best I can because I'm still kind of gathering all the pieces. But from my understanding, there was an article that came out where Angel Reese was like, you know what? I don't want to be here. I don't like these players. I don't care about none of this. Get me the hell out of Chicago.
To understand how we got here, you have to remember how hard Unrivaled pushed Angel Reese in the beginning. She wasn't just a player, she was the brand. Billboards, promo shoots, highlight reels, all built around her name. She was marketed as the spark, the swagger, the edge that women's basketball supposedly needed. And to be fair, it worked, at first. Reese's debut in Unrivaled's inaugural season exploded online. Views spiked, her interviews went viral, and the league's first ever championship run had her face front and center. She even walked away with the Defensive Player of the Year award and an all-Unrivaled second-team nod. On paper, she was winning. But the story that fans saw online didn't match what insiders were whispering.
This is my MVP, everybody, right here. She didn't win it, but she should have. Bang! Did, however, win Defensive Player of the Year. I would have given it to the rim. Bang! Best plays from the best player on this account only, right here. Bang! Oh yeah, you gotta see this one. This is a personal favorite. Hand-eye coordination, the footwork. Bang! Another fan favorite, wide open. Bang! Greatest to ever get their shot blocked, right here. Bang! MVP! MVP! Secret Service! We got a shooter, top of the building. Bang! Another fan favorite, the touch and finesse. Beautiful, and then her grace. Bang! All my lady listeners, if she can do this, I believe in your chances. Never give up. Never! Again, she is my MVP. I want to reiterate. Bang! Best jumper I've ever seen. She leaps out of a gym. The relentless motor on her. She won't stop missing. No one has the drive to miss baskets quite like her. Shot number 2. Bang! One more time. Last one. Bang!
Behind the highlights, there were warning signs, constant technical fouls, turnovers stacking up, sideline arguments caught on camera, and teammates quietly frustrated that her energy didn't always translate to effort. Then came the playoff controversy. While her team was pushing toward the finals, Angel Reese was somewhere else. Not injured, not suspended, just absent. She celebrated that championship through a phone screen, FaceTiming the team instead of suiting up with them. Fans called it self-care. The league called it unavailable. But the internet called it what it looked like, a bad look. After that, things started unraveling fast. Her social media presence became bigger than her stat lines. She launched podcasts.
Let's clock some tea real quick.
Branded content, sponsorship shoots, all while fans wondered whether basketball was still her priority. Meanwhile, over in the WNBA, her Chicago Sky campaign looked eerily similar. Injuries that ended her seasons early, then brand deals and red carpet photos that made people question just how hurt she really was. By late 2025, the narrative had shifted. Angel Reese wasn't being introduced as the league's future anymore. She was being labeled its distraction. Inside sources say sponsors were growing nervous. When a player trends more for shade posts than shot percentages, that's a red flag for any brand. The math stopped adding up. Sure, she brought in millions of views, but ticket sales dropped and engagement dipped after the initial hype faded. As one executive reportedly put it, virality doesn't pay rent. So when Unrivaled announced season 2 and her name didn't appear, insiders weren't surprised, just relieved. No press conference, no farewell post, no PR spin, just quiet removal. The league didn't even bother pretending it was an oversight. Because, let's be honest, if Unrivaled wanted her back, we'd all know it. Instead, what we got was silence. Strategic silence. Now here's where the drama really explodes, because this isn't just about one player losing a spot. It's about an entire shift in women's basketball. Unrivaled's decision, whether you call it firing, cutting, or ghosting, sends a loud message. The league is done rewarding chaos. They built their image around personality and provocation, but they've finally realized charisma without commitment doesn't sell long-term. Meanwhile, a very different kind of player is taking over the spotlight, Caitlin Clark. While Reese was chasing clicks, Clark was chasing wins. She's become the league's blueprint for professionalism. No theatrics, no diva moments, just results. Her Fever teammates play freer because of her. Attendance is up, sponsors are lining up, and fans are actually watching full games again. That's the real difference. Substance over spectacle. And when you compare Clark's calm leadership to Reese's constant volatility, it's clear why Unrivaled hit the mute button. They didn't fire a player, they fired a philosophy. Still, even with all the noise, you can't deny Angel Reese's influence. She made women's basketball louder, flashier, and impossible to ignore. Love her or hate her, she dragged the sport into mainstream conversation. But that kind of spotlight burns fast, and now she's feeling the heat. As for Unrivaled, the message is crystal clear. Accountability beats attitude. The league is rebooting its image, and the days of letting one star dominate the headlines are over. Yet the biggest question remains, what's next for Angel Reese? Will she fight her way back into Unrivaled, prove everyone wrong, and stage a comeback? Or will she double down, lean into the villain role, and take her brand somewhere new? Maybe a podcast empire, or her own independent league. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that Angel Reese doesn't go down quietly. This firing might have ended her run in Unrivaled, but the backlash? That's just beginning. So what do you think? Did Unrivaled make the right call cutting her loose? Or did they just lose the very player who built their buzz? Drop your take in the comments below. And if you're still watching, type Reese fired so we know who made it to the end. Stay tuned, because this story isn't over, and the fallout's about to get messy.